Hey, you think I don't know about YouTube? Well, I do. With today's story, you'll laugh, you'll learn, and you'll remember where you come from and recognize where you are going. The elders say, what the old sees while sitting, a young cannot see even from the top of a tree. So come now, listen well and let the story speak to your spirit.
Long ago, when the moon still came down to drink from the rivers of men, there was a village called Adumasa, nestled between the golden hills of the Ashanti and the wide belly of the Pra River. The people of Adumasa were known far and wide for two things: their fine kente weaving and their wisdom in matters of marriage. In Adumasa, a marriage was not only a union of two hearts, but of two families, two destinies. It was said, when you marry, you tie your rope to another's soul. If one pulls, the other must not fall. The elders believed that a man's worth was measured not by his riches, but by his honesty and the respect he carried for his ancestors. But one season, a shadow crept over Adumasa, a shadow born from greed, from lies, and from the restless spirit of one man who sought to climb too high, too fast. That man's name was Kwame Kuntu.
Kwame was handsome like the morning sun, with skin the color of roasted kola, and eyes that gleamed like the surface of still water before dawn. His smile could charm the thorns of a cactus. Yet, beneath that smile lay a hunger, the kind of hunger that makes a man drink even when the water is poisoned. Kwame was the only son of Osofo Kuntu, a respected but poor palm wine tapper. Osofo was a man of integrity, humble and hardworking, but fortune had not favored him. His raffia pots were often stolen by monkeys or spilled by wind, and his calabash never seemed to fill. Still, he would always say, "It is not the fullness of your pot that makes you rich, but the peace in your heart." Kwame, however, grew up despising such sayings. He wanted gold, land, cattle, and recognition. He often said, "Peace does not build a house, money does." Now, in the neighboring village of Kibi, lived a maiden whose beauty was the talk of the entire Akem lands, Afia Serwaa, the daughter of Nana Adu Koko, the chief of Kibi. Serwaa was not only beautiful, she was wise, soft-spoken, and kind. They said her laughter could make even the old women's bones dance. Men traveled from distant places, from Kumasi, even from the coast, to seek her hand in marriage.
But Nanadu, her father, was a man who valued worth over wealth. He told every suitor, "If you seek my daughter, come not with words, but with your truth. A bride price paid with lies will birth only sorrow." The bride price for Serwaa was famously steep: 10 fine kente cloths, 10 pots of palm oil, 10 pieces of gold, and a white ram with no blemish. Many men tried and failed, for none could meet such a demand with purity of heart. One market day, as Kwame was selling his father's wine in the square, he overheard 2 traders gossiping about Serwaa. "They say Nanadu will soon give Serwaa to whoever brings the finest gifts before the yam harvest," one said. Kwame's ears pricked up. His eyes gleamed. 10 pieces of gold, 10 kente cloths, and a white ram, that is all. Then I will bring her home as my wife, Kwame murmured.
The traders laughed. "You, the palm wine tapper's son? Even the ram you mentioned would cost more than your father's entire farm." Kwame smiled, but inside, his pride burned like dry grass under fire. That night, as the moon cast silver across the huts, Kwame sat under the odum tree, thinking. He had nothing but dreams, yet his ambition whispered louder than reason. Then a thought came to him, a thought that slithered into his heart like a snake. The following morning, he walked to the neighboring town of Abirem, where a rich merchant named Mensa Dapa lived. Dapa was known to lend wealth to young men for a price. He was also known to love deceit more than his own reflection. Papa Mensa, Kwame said, bowing respectfully, "I seek your help to marry the daughter of Nana Adu." Mensa's eyebrows rose. "And what do you have to offer me in return, young dreamer?" Kwame, clever with words, lied smoothly. "My father owns a wide grove of palm trees. I will give you half the yield for the next 5 years. Mensa stroked his beard, eyeing Kwame. "If your father agrees, I shall lend you what you need." Kwame smiled, pretending confidence. "He has already blessed my plan." He lied again. And so the deceit began. With Mensa's gold, Kwame purchased 10 kente cloths from the weavers of Bonwaye, the finest in all Ashanti. He bought palm oil in earthen pots, white as milk, and a spotless ram from the chief herder of the plains. When he appeared in Kibi, the people gasped. His procession gleamed like the morning sun. The maidens whispered, the old women ululated, and even the drummers beat the fontom-from drums with vigor.
Nana Adu sat on his stool, flanked by elders. "Young man, you come well adorned," he said. "Tell us who you are and what brings you to my palace." "I am Kwame Kuntu of Adumasa," Kwame said proudly. "I come to ask for the hand of your daughter, Afia Serwaa. Here is my bride price as tradition demands." The gifts were displayed: gold that shimmered, cloths that dazzled, oil that glowed, and a ram as white as the clouds. The elders murmured approvingly. Nana Adu smiled slightly, but said, "Fine gifts indeed, but tell me, son of Kuntu, are they yours?" Kwame bowed deeply. "By the ancestors, they are mine," he lied again. The chief studied him for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Very well. The ancestors shall judge. But remember, lies have short legs. They do not walk far." That evening, amidst dancing and drumming, Serwaa was given to Kwame. She was graceful, her beauty lighting up the courtyard like fireflies in the dark. Kwame's heart swelled with triumph. For weeks, the two lived as husband and wife in Adumasa. Serwaa worked hard, fetching water, weaving baskets, and cooking meals that tasted of heaven. Kwame strutted around the village, boasting of his new wealth and his beautiful wife. But beneath his glory, his lies began to rot like a hidden carcass.
Mensa Dapa came to Adumasa soon after. He was not a man who forgot debts. "Kwame Kuntu," he said, his voice cold as the harmattan wind, "your first payment is due. Where is the palm wine harvest you promised?" Kwame stammered, "My father's trees are not yielding well this season. Give me time." Mensa's eyes narrowed. Time is the friend of the honest, not the liar. The merchant left, but his words followed Kwame like a curse. Weeks turned to moons. Kwame's lies began to unravel. Dapa returned, this time with witnesses. He stormed into Osofu Kuntu's compound. "Old man," he barked, "your son promised me half your palm grove in return for gold he used to marry the chief's daughter." Osofu froze, his calabash slipping from his hand. "What grove? I made no such promise." The villagers gathered. Murmurs rose like bees. Kwame tried to speak, but his tongue was heavy.
"Kwame," his father thundered, "is this true?" Kwame fell to his knees. "Father, I only wanted to bring honor to our name." Osufu's face twisted with shame. "You have brought us dishonor instead. You have bought a wife with lies. Even a goat knows not to trade its soul for vanity." News of Kwame's deceit reached Kiebi. Nana Ado's messengers came swiftly demanding his presence. When Kwame stood before the chief again, his fine cloth was replaced by a ragged wrapper. "Kwame Kuntu," the chief said gravely, "you lied before the gods and before men. You claimed what was not yours. Tell me, how can a marriage built on deceit stand?" Kwame bowed his head, trembling. "Forgive me, Nana. My heart was foolish. I loved your daughter, but I feared I would never be worthy." Serwaa's eyes glistened with tears. "You were worthy, Kwame, until you chose lies over truth." The chief sighed deeply. "In Kiebi, we say, when a man buries truth, it will rise with the dawn to shame him. The bride price you paid is tainted. The ancestors will not bless this union."
He turned to Serwaa. "My daughter, you are free to return home." Serwaa wept softly. "I will go, but not in anger. For love that grows on deceit is like a yam planted in sand. It cannot stand the rains." Kwame fell to the ground wailing, but it was too late. The drums that once sang for his marriage now beat for his disgrace. Yet that was not the end. That night in Adumasa, Kwame could not sleep. His heart was restless. He walked to the river bank, hoping to clear his thoughts. The moon was full, casting a pale light on the water. As he sat by the river, a voice spoke, soft yet commanding. "Kwame Kuntu." He looked up and saw a woman dressed in white, her face hidden by mist. "Who are you?" he asked, fear gripping his chest. "I am Abenansia, spirit of the river, keeper of truth. You have disturbed the balance of the ancestors with your lies." Kwame bowed his head, trembling. "I am sorry, mother of the waters." Her voice rippled like the river itself. "Sorry will not feed truth. To cleanse yourself, you must return what was stolen and face the one you wronged with open hands and no deceit."
Kwame nodded, tears streaming. "I will do as you say." By dawn, he went to Mesada Pa's house, carrying the last of his father's wine and the little gold he had left. "I cannot repay all, but I return what I can," he said. "Take it and let the gods judge between us." Dapa laughed bitterly. "You think a few drops of wine can cleanse your lies? Keep your pity, boy." But Kwame left the gold anyway. For the first time, his heart felt light. He then journeyed to Kiebi once more. The people sneered when they saw him, but Kwame did not falter. He knelt before Nana Adu. "I come not to plead for Serwaa, but to confess fully. Every gift I brought was borrowed on falsehood. I have repaid what I could, and I seek forgiveness, not favor." The chief studied him for a long time. He said, "Truth has finally found your tongue. Rise, Kwame Kuntu. Though your lies ruined your marriage, your honesty today has restored your soul." Serwaa, standing behind her father, looked at Kwame and said softly,
Perhaps in another life, where truth is born before pride, we might meet again. Kwame nodded, tears in his eyes. Until that life, may your path be blessed. He returned to Adumasa a changed man. He walked beside his father, no longer chasing glory, but peace. Years passed, and people began to forget the scandal. But among the elders, his story remained a lesson. When young men grew restless with ambition, the elders would say, "Remember Kwame Kuntu and the bright price of lies. Gold may dazzle the eyes, but truth feeds the soul." And when the moon rose over the Pra River, glimmering like the eyes of ancestors, it was said that sometimes, if you listened closely, you could hear the river whisper, "A lie may buy a bride, but only truth can keep her."
My dear ones, this is where our story ends for now. But tell me, what did your heart feel as you listened? Share your thoughts in the comment, You know Grandma loves to hear from you. And don't forget, press that subscribe button, like the story, and ring the little bell so that every time I come back here, you will be the first to join me. Until then, may your paths be safe, fruitful, and peaceful. Remember, keep your heart warm, your spirit curious and kind.